How Influencers Ruined Hobbies by Soggy Cereal. Okay.
Papa, can we get some new Pokemon cards for my collection?
Sure, kid.
Yippee!
5 minutes later.
They finally have one! I'm so happy!
Yes! Finally, 100 Pokemon packs!
Wait a minute, these are just 99 packs! Give me that, you greedy little shit! I'm sorry, kids, but how about we get you some coloring books as a hobby instead? Okay.
Hey guys, today we're doing some fun coloring. Now if this video doesn't get more than 10,000 views, I will set myself on fire.
I hate myself. Doing this performative hobby for views fucking sucks, man. Alright, maybe I'll just get you some RAM so you can play Fortnite on your computer. Yeah, yippee, Fortnite. Alright, 1 RAM coming up. Hey my bowl of cereal, I couldn't use real Pokemon cards in my intro skit cause my local store had sold them all to scalpers. And it sucks cause they would have counted as a tax write-off. So a few weeks ago, I found myself doom scrolling on my phone to the point I almost forgot how to breathe while choking on my own spit. Wondering how previous generations would fill their days before they had what is essentially an infinite library of mind-numbing entertainment in the palm of their hand. Until I stumbled upon this article about how sports gambling is actually a really fun hobby, even when you lose your entire bank account. And realized... Oh my god, I should start gambling. What? No! They had hobbies. Remember those? Remember doing something just for fun without being influenced by trends, social media, or marketing? I remember. It was 1938 and the Germans had just invaded Poland. Over the past few years, recreational hobbies are gradually becoming a thing of the past. The cost of hobbies has been increasing while wages stagnated to the point we now have a word for it called funflation. Kids are being gatekept from their interests by scalpers wanting to turn a profit. 61% of Gen Z feel societal pressure to monetize their hobbies just to survive the cost of living, replacing what should be recreational with even more work stress. And many say the few hobbies they have for performative reasons, either doing them for views on social media or lying about doing them in the first place because they're scared of seeming boring. And 6%.
I agree with I agree with everything he's saying because I make art, by the way. If you followed me on Instagram, then you would know that. But you guys, he just decided not to follow me. I do not know why. But yeah, with art, I'm speaking from experience with like making art. With art, yes, practically everyone's making it performative in a way. Like we're always showing our art on social media or on, I don't know, Pinterest, stuff like that.
Of people spend less than 5, many of which 0 hours on active hobbies a week, spending more on passive hobbies like scrolling social media or watching Netflix. And I am part of this percentage because if someone would ask me what the most active thing I did this week, I'd have to say it was laughing at this shitpost of Beedrills shooting some sticky white liquid out of their stinger. You gotta admit though that this is pretty fun. And like many things wrong in society today, a lot of it started with TikTok.
I might have gone a little bit overboard.
Coloring book collection part 1 out of 4.
There's 167 markers in the TikTok shop.
Most of these things I got with TikTok shop coupons.
So I've decided to finally get something from the TikTok shop.
Unboxing my new coloring books from TikTok shop.
Is it an addiction? No, I don't think it's an addiction.
Remember coloring books? From elementary school? Well, I don't think I've ever seen a hobby as hardcore as TikTok coloring.
Yeah, so just I don't know, it just feels so performative in a way.
People buying thousands of markers, stacks of aesthetic coloring books, because on TikTok TikTok, it's all aesthetics over substance. Spending what feels like an inheritance on this one hobby glorified by TikTok, where most products are conveniently available on the shop owned by TikTok, and once you buy from there, have the algorithm expose buyers only to TikTok creators most skilled at coloring to make them feel more insecure so that they buy even more products. It's almost as if they intentionally designed their algorithm to trap people into giving them more money. And it worked, because that's how they got me into buying this coloring book, which I suck at and don't have the patience for improving, since every time I open this app, they shove people at least 100 times better at this down my throat and constantly confront me with my lack of competence, which is really demotivating. And while I'd rather learn at my own pace, because, shocker, I want my hobby to be relaxing, this makes me feel pressure to buy new and better products every time I open TikTok. And I hate it. And there is no escape, because the algorithm seems to know everything we do. And coloring is just one of many examples for what I call this death of amateurism. I even talked a bit about how this got me to quit skateboarding in a video a few months ago. And I'm not the only one experiencing this. There are countless people who have given up their new hobby because of TikTok pushing content of not just the most skilled in their field, but the most aesthetically pleasing, which in a newcomer's mind feels unattainable to reach, thus futile to even try. So what if my shading looks like dog poop smeared on a wall? You look like dog poop smeared on a wall. I'm sorry, that wasn't called for.
I'm gonna tell you why your coloring sucks. It doesn't. Stop comparing yourself to everybody else on here.
Yeah, this is true. When like you're starting out at something, one of the worst things you can do is compare yourself to others who are in the same field, because most of the time the people you're comparing yourself to, they're on their day 100 of that skill, of that field that you're both in. That person is on their day 100, you are on your day 1, so of course you're not going to be on the same level. That's one thing you should understand. Comparing yourself is just going to leave you feeling discouraged, depressed, feeling like shit. When what you have to understand is there's a process to all this. It takes time to learn. You're not going to learn overnight, like, oh fuck no, oh I know how to draw, I know how to make art. Fuck no. This is exactly the same way it is with content, with practically anything. Making music, of course your first song is going to be shit. You're not going to pop out and be fucking Drake. No, you're going to suck, because that's part of the process. You have to suck to become good at something. You're going to have to suck first. So yeah.
Who does different styles like in their most immaculate, time-consuming way.
Thank you. Because it's not enough that this shit-ass app is completely ruining our attention spans and taking up so much of our time. They also have...
I mean, if TikTok's bothering you guys that much, I mean, you can just delete it. I mean, it's not hard.
To make us feel too insecure to do anything besides scrolling in our lives. Because they don't want you to have a hobby, they want you to buy one, then get tired of it as soon as possible, so you'll buy a new one. And in this economy, I'd rather spend a little less and stay on top of my finances, which is why this video is sponsored by Rocket Money.
Fucking sponsor. Let's see.
I want to be clear that I am not critiquing anyone for enjoying coloring as a hobby or spending money on it. Do what makes you happy. I am, however, critiquing the algorithms manipulating people's minds to turn hobbies into overconsumption strategies, in turn making them feel less fulfilling. Even for creators, this seems absolutely miserable. Many starting out with the goal of sharing their favorite passion, but then inevitably getting trapped in an endless rat race by these predatory algorithms. Again, using TikTok coloring as an example, competing for views, they start confusing being good at art with being good at the TikTok algorithm.
When coloring becomes too stressful because other people are better than you and you get no views, so you just sit there slowly losing passion and
Yeah, this can be, again, I make art, so I'm finding all of this stuff very relatable because I've gone through this shit. When for example, when I was earlier, when I okay, I've always made art, but like when I made an account and started posting my art there, one thing I was trying to one mistake I made was that instead of making art for myself, I started making art to please the algorithm. Now, what that does to you is that um you won't, whenever you make art, you're like you're trying your very best to get views, which means you're uh, you liking that process is won't be, you won't really like that process because like now it feel like it's a fucking job when it's supposed to be a hobby, something you do for your own enjoyment. You know what I mean? So when I did that, I found myself not enjoying art as much. So I changed my strategy and just started, whenever I make something, okay, I'll just post whatever I make, whether it's, I don't know, whether it's a sketch, whether it's fully rendered, whether it's digital, I'll just post. As long as I enjoyed making it, I'll post it. They're not trying to chase the algorithm and everything. That's just tiring. You end up feeling burnt out from chasing the views.
talent.
And those are two very different skills, especially these days when they also
And then
have
another thing is that, okay, I'm using art as an example a lot because like that's what I'm specialized in. What did I want to say? I want to say something. Aha. Just because one thing you shouldn't do is equate the number of views a person has to how good they are at making something. Because, okay, sometimes, yeah, sometimes that's the thing. Someone will have a lot of views because they're really good. But then another thing is marketing. There are other people who really know how to market, but like then you see someone else with much better skill at art or something like that, but they're getting less views. So yeah, don't, that's not the only determining factor of how good a person is. The views aren't usually aren't the determining factor of how good a person is at a skill.
to compete with AI. So now suddenly your self-worth is tied to a view count, slowly turning that hobby that once gave you peace of mind into a stressful pit of toxicity and self-doubt. Kind of like a job.
Exactly. This is what I said.
Except it makes you depressed.
That's what, nigga. Okay, that's what jobs that you don't want do to you. They make you depressed and hate life, and want to unalive yourself. But please don't do that, nigga. Don't.
Wait, so exactly like a job.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which might be a reason why Gen Z is experiencing more burnout than any other generation throughout history, since more than half feels like they have to turn their hobby into yet another job, leading to mass burnout or people just coping with the effort. Because everything has to be a side hustle. You can't do something without it generating revenue, otherwise how will you pay for your rent? What, with your full-time job? No. If they paid you fairly, your CEO might not be able to buy their 15th yacht. Instead of critiquing the system for forcing a culture of turning every hobby into the exact opposite of what a hobby should be, TikTok, again, seems to be normalizing this.
How I turned my love for reading into a second income.
Here are 3 ways to turn.
Wait, how the fuck do you turn reading into a money making opportunity? How the fuck does that work? You read to get paid? Oh my god, you learn something new every day, bro.
Turn your hobby into a side hustle.
Turn my hobby into a profitable small business. This is how.
If you want to turn whatever your hobby is into a passive income stream, I have 3 ChatGPT prompts for you that will help.
I want to die. Please, ChatGPT, kill me.
I'm really sorry you're feeling like this, and I can't help with killing you.
Oh my god, can you do
Oh my god.
anything useful?
Here's the easiest online job a 12-year can do from home.
Here's a side hustle so simple that even a 12-year-old can do it.
Side hustle so easy, even a 12-year-old can do it.
Hey, so, can we maybe leave the kids out of this, please?
I think teens should spend at least 5 of their teenage years just trying to become successful.
Jesus fucking Christ, dude, you're a fucking kid.
Before you start hating in the comments, let me say this. It literally takes $82 a day to make the average yearly income in America. Right now, I'm doing video editing and I own an agency, so I'm making even more than that each day. And I'm only 13.
Jesus Christ. I don't think we realize the scope of blight this entire phenomenon causes on society. We're essentially advocating that actually, no, you shouldn't be doing anything just for the fun of it. It has to lead somewhere. It always has to have a purpose. And that purpose is automation and business scalability for generating revenue.
So come into ChatGPT and type this in. Create a detailed monetization strategy for turning your hobby or skill into a digital product. Include specific platforms for selling, pricing tiers based on market research, and a system for automated delivery. Focus on minimal ongoing maintenance and maximum profit potential.
Hey ChatGPT, create a detailed monetization strategy for turning my favorite hobby, pooping, into a digital product. Toilet audio library. Real loud, unapologetic recordings categorized by duration, loudness, mood. Oh boy, now I can finally monetize my victorious pooping sounds while ratioing people on Twitter on the toilet. Video performance documentation. Premium tier. Man, if you ever feel useless, just know LLMs exist to motivate you into starting an OnlyFans, but for pooping. Thanks, ChatGPT. I'm so glad I just helped poison a bed of water for this useful business idea. $149? On me pooping? What do I sell this on? Etsy? Of course. I mean, my poop videos would fit right in with the rest of dropshipping products and AI slop being sold on there, which honestly is the ultimate spit in the face of hobbyists. See, for people who don't know, Etsy was specifically made for hobbyists to sell their handmade products on, but now it's actively ruining the hobbies of people who are actually able to turn it into a legitimate business.
AI is actually killing Etsy bad.
Resellers ruined Etsy.
AI ruined my Etsy.
Because they just won't crack down on mass plagiarism. Especially now with the rise of AI, actual artists are having to close their Etsy stores after years of success because they simply can't compete with a bot generating 500 stolen images an hour. So I think I'll be making any money selling my toilet audio library on there. You know how I will make some money though? By making little kids cry and steal all of their stupid little Pokemon cards. There are few things on this planet I have as much disgust for as I do scalpers. Since 1800s, they've been buying out Charles Dickens' reading tour tickets to resell them at 10 times the price. In the mid-2000s, they used bots to hoard almost every ticket for all Hannah Montana concerts, raising ticket prices from $150 to $7,000. It was so bad that this actually kickstarted government investigations and proposed legislation to fight scalping. They literally make their profit on leveraging manufactured scarcity on people's passion for hobbies, concerts, artists. But what frustrates me beyond anything is when they scalp product primarily marketed towards children. In 1983, they bought out Cabbage Patch Kids for $25, reselling them for $150. They really were the Labubus of their time. In the 19th, retail workers got literally trampled by scalpers buying Tickle Me Elmo dolls at $29.
Kill James? That's right. The Elmo doll is saying kill James.
Then reselling them via newspaper ads for $1,500 each. Make your kid happy. Hey man, why don't you, die? A few years ago, they gatekept people from gaming, first by hoarding already overpriced GPUs when crypto first boomed, and then by buying up every PlayStation 5 on launch to then resell them at triple the price. Those fucking assholes. They even bought out every PS5 game. Oh wait, no, they're just There just weren't any PS5 games. And over the past few years, they have ruined the entire Pokemon trading card hobby. Buying up every Pokemon trainer box, booster bundle, card pack, taking away the opportunity not just from many adults to continue enjoying hobbies they've had since childhood, but from kids to discover this hobby in the first place. Does your greed know no bounds? Do you really need little Timmy to cry in front of the Pokemon card dispenser because you so desperately want to make money by making life more miserable for everyone else?
Hurry up, you gotta beat the scalpers. Let's go to the back one. On his way to beat the scalpers. Scalpers found this kiosk. Sorry.
Well, yes, because this kid's desperate desire makes him able to reprice those $4 packs to $17. Have I mentioned I freaking hate scalpers? And sadly, I don't think this will improve anytime soon, especially with how much Pokemon cards increased in value over the past 4 years. And like, I'm sorry, but since when did we all collectively decide that Pokemon cards should actually be a more lucrative investment than solid gold?
Pokemon as an asset class has outperformed the stock market by upwards of 3,000% in the last 20 years.
And I know that this is all based on supply and demand, but let's not act like these prices have scaled naturally. They've been pumped up by hype, by people who already own these cards as assets or have the money to flip them. People who can raise their profits by boosting demand through manipulative publicity, corrupting this once niche hobby so people like Logan Paul can go on Fox News to promote how
Wait. One thing I don't understand. I mean, I understand collectors, but like, I don't know. I don't get what's so great about Pokemon cards. I don't know. Does that make me weird? I don't know why people want to collect them so much. I don't know. What's so special about them?
Of their 5.3 million Pokemon cards, so much so that he's willing to sell it for at least $1 million profit. You know, because of the emotional value, of course. The businessification of this hobby has turned it into a substitute for gambling. I mean, children today can't even enjoy being excited about cards they unbox on TikTok.
What is happening?
It's very rare.
Is it?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Are you happy?
Yes.
Without these miserable people commenting, actually, that is worth about $1.
Oh my god. Fucking nerds.
It's like $4. Don't tell him it's 50 cents max. I don't see myself crying like this over anything in my life.
Yeah, buddy.
I'm sorry, nowhere in this TikTok did this line ask for the opinions of the sheep. Let this absolute king enjoy his 50-cent card instead of conditioning them to care only about the monetary value of everything in life. And then with some luck, they won't turn out as miserable as this guy. Yet with all of this, I still think the final boss that's quite recently having a negative influence on hobbies is AI. And I'm not just talking about the crippling financial influence it's having, although that's also pretty bad, making the gaming hobby almost unaffordable with 32 gigabytes of RAM now being more expensive than a discounted AR-15.
What the fuck? What the fuck is up with this shit, nigga?
At least now I can see what using spinach dip as a blanket looks like. Luckily, I got a new gaming PC right before they started costing $7 trillion each. But also because of how purposeless it has people feeling now. Why spend the money and effort learning to play guitar when AI music is already taking over Billboard 500 charts? Why learn how to draw when once artistic giants like Disney are investing billions of dollars in AI slop? Why do anything at all when society's elite are doing everything in their power to create a lifeless entity that, in their words, will be better at everything than even the most skilled humans? Well, because a true hobby doesn't need to have a purpose. All it needs is for you to enjoy doing it. And if that's not enough for you, I personally take comfort in the idea that when we finally do have an entity that can do everything with pinpoint perfection, true art will lie in human imperfection. And since I'm a little dumbass full of imperfections, that'll be my time to shine. So for the coming year, I'm gonna try to find hobbies I enjoy and not let myself get influenced by exploitative algorithms, scalpers, AI, or manufactured hype. Damn it, I will learn to be more independent from this.
Hey, double your video, man. That that was a good video. But I think we've all learned that the moral here is that, well, I mean, turning monetizing your hobby isn't bad, but like it becomes a job, sort of. I actually, yeah, it becomes a job, and then the I don't know. It things just hobbies. When something turns into a job, it's less enjoyable. That's a fact. I don't care what you tell me, even if even if you enjoy writing as a passion. Once you change that to uh, a way to make money, it you like it, you enjoy doing it less. I mean, you still, yeah, probably you still enjoy it, but like you enjoy it less than you did when you were just doing it for fun. Because now you've attached making money to it. You've attached monetary value to that hobby. In fact, it's just a job now, man. But yeah, um, and screw AI, fuck it. But yeah, that's the video. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, and consider what did I want to say? Consider supporting me on Patreon. Yes. Oh, and I mean, I mentioned I make art. So on Patreon, I usually upload my art there and stuff like that earlier than I do on Instagram. So yeah, you get early access and stuff like that. They're tiers. You probably check them. The link to my Patreon is in the video description. So you check them out for yourself. Um, yeah, consider following me, consider supporting me on Patreon, and check out my main channel. And yeah, that's about it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
このディオだ